Hey, it's James, and this is Tune Up Your Typeform Quick Fixes, where we take real customer forms and tune them up using the latest and greatest Typeform features. Okay, so let's see who we've got on the show today. Today's guest is Sybilla Technologies. Now, they are a company that builds and operates robotic optical observatories for monitoring objects in space. No idea, but I do know that they use Typeform. So let's hear about their use case. They have a customer feedback and satisfaction form for industry specialists who are using their software, and they want to improve their form's accessibility and their response rate, as well as setting up some automations. Let's meet today's tuner. Today's tuner is Kat from our education team. Now, Kat writes the articles on the Help Center, so she knows a thing or two about Typeform features. Okay, so now we know what we're up against. Let's get tuning.
Thanks, James. So before we launch into the tune-up, let's take a look at Sybilla's original customer satisfaction form. So this is what customers see when they're asked for feedback today. And we start with an introduction screen that explains the purpose of the form. We move on to a contact details question and further down the support section. So everyone sees these two support questions, whether they've contacted support recently or not, which can make them feel a little bit out of place. And we're also relying on respondents to see this description and not skewing the results by answering these questions, even if they haven't actually interacted with the support team. And then finally, we have some product questions with multiple choice and open-ended follow-ups. And then we finish with an MPS question. So all of these answers are super valuable, but Sybilla's team at the moment is reviewing them manually and sharing them around by email. So it's hard to turn them into consistent and actionable insights. Okay, so let's fast forward to the tuned up version of this form. So before we dive into individual questions, we've made sure that the overall experience looks and feels more like Sybilla. So here you can see that we've created a brand kit to match the form to Sybilla's brand. So the colours and logo all line up with the rest of their product experience. So this way, the first impression feels a bit more polished, a bit more trustworthy, and the form looks like a natural extension of their brand and their software, and not a disconnected survey. Okay, so we've turned that first long statement into a focus welcome screen. So the copy's shorter and clearer. We've added a relevant image to make the introduction feel a bit more inviting and a bit more on brand. And we've toggled on the time to complete setting here so people can see how long the form will take them. Okay, so you'll notice that we don't see the contact details question here anymore. We've actually pushed that back further in the form so people can go ahead and jump straight into feedback first. But I'll come back with more on that in a moment. So here we've made the support section a little bit smarter using branching logic. So first we ask a simple yes or no question to check whether the respondents contacted Sybilla's support team. If they say no, we skip the support questions entirely. If they say yes, we show two focused support satisfaction questions. So here we used Typeform AI's optimized text feature to tidy up the wording a little bit. And we moved the explanation for the 0 to 10 scale into labels here. So it just keeps everything a little bit clearer and more accessible, especially if respondents are answering on smaller screens. And Sybilla were looking for more advanced features. So in the product section, we've upgraded those open-ended text questions to clarify with AI question types. So after a respondent's initial answer to the question, the form can automatically follow up with a tailored prompt to get even more detail without adding any extra manual work for Sybilla's team. So the result means richer, more structured feedback, while the experience still feels personal and conversational for respondents. And for respondents who are really happy with Sybilla, we've added a video testimonial step. So if somebody gives a NPS score of 8 or above, we ask them if they'd be happy to record a short video testimonial. And if they say yes, we route them to a short video answer where they can record it. And then straight after the video answer, we asked Typeform AI here to add a short legal consent question for us, asking for permission to use the video that they've recorded in Sybilla's marketing and promotional materials. And this is what Typeform AI created for us. So just a little call out, Typeform AI is a really handy way to get suggestions on your form, revisions, wording, and structure in general. So that means that those video clips that we collect can then be safely reused across the Sybilla's marketing, sales, and customer stories. And because they're only asking promoters, they're capturing genuine advocacy at exactly the right moment. Okay, so here we've added a partial submit point. So Sybilla can still capture all the feedback people have left up to this point, even if someone drops off because they don't want to leave their details. And then we've moved the contact detail question to the end of the form. And this will let Sybilla compare the completion and drop off rates and decide whether it works better for them at the beginning or end. So here we've softened the wording a little bit to explain why we're asking for contact details, and we've made email the only required field. So Sybilla can still follow up with respondents while keeping the rest of the fields optional. And once responses start coming in, we're not going to have to go through and analyze every answer manually. So we're going to go over to the summary tab now. So on the summary tab, for our support team satisfaction question here, we can quickly see how many people answered, so 25 out of 28 people, and then we can use the AI-powered analysis box to get an instant read on how support's doing without having to dig into the raw numbers ourselves. But if we want to see the full numbers and the full chart, we have that below if we want to go deeper. Then for all those richer open-ended answers from our Clarify with AI questions that we added, we're going to switch over to the Smart Insights dashboard. So there's a lot that you can explore here, but we're just going to look at a couple of examples. So Smart Insights groups responses into clear themes and sentiment buckets. So in this example, it's highlighting things like strong core performance, interface usability concerns, and a reliability versus value gap, with positive, negative, neutral, and mixed sentiments broken out underneath. So we can also take a look at response highlights by expanding here. And all of this makes it much quicker and much easier to spot patterns, decide what to focus on first, and track whether any changes are actually improving the customer experience over time. Okay, so now we've tuned our form, we've looked at how Smart Insights can help us analyze responses. Let's move from the form into the workflows that take over once the feedback starts coming in. So to do that, we are going to go over to our contacts list. So right now, Sybilla's team's reviewing results manually, forwarding them around by email. But with Typeform's contacts and automations, every new response can be tied to a living contact profile. So over time, you can see each customer's history, satisfaction, and any key details in one place. So from there, automations can handle the follow-up. So for example, we could add unhappy customers who could be at risk of churning to a needs follow-up list. And then we could trigger a short email check-in sequence to start a couple of days later. Or we could drop our promoters into a happy customers list, so marketing can invite them to share success stories or join beta programs. And because the Sybilla team already works out of ClickUp, they don't have to change tools. So using Zapier, they can pass response data straight into ClickUp. So for example, we could automatically create a task when someone gives a low satisfaction score, assign it to the right owner, and tag it as high priority. Here we can see. And that way, important feedback shows up on the ClickUp board the team already uses without anyone copying and pasting from their inbox. And that's our mission complete for Sybilla's feedback form. Hopefully, these changes keep things running smoothly across their customer galaxy. Back to you, James.
Well done, Kat. So just to recap, we used AI to clean up the form along with adding Clarify with AI questions. We added some branding and also let people add video testimonials via the form. and we showcased how to get the most out of their insights. That's a wrap for this edition of Quick Fixes. Thanks a lot to Kat for being here today. If you want your form tuned up, use the link in the description below to send it in. You never know, we might even feature you in an upcoming episode. And if you enjoy this content, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an episode. Stay tuned.